jumped off the plane just after 2 o'clock, and it wasn't long before I found myself a relief-induced jog towards the shuttle bus. It had been an excruciating hour since we'd departed an icy-looking Luton airport, and as per usual, afore boarding this so-called routine flight, I had spent the entire morning recollecting and then reviewing in my head every episode of air crash investigation I'd ever seen. I started hyperventilating as soon as we began racing down the runway, and upon recognising the dreaded pinnacle of 30,000 feet, I proceeded to scream out loud my concerns to all the other passengers and hopefully the pilot too, that right engine sounded awfully funny and we were probably all about to die. Thankfully though I was wrong, and before I kent it, there I was, back home, here in Edinburgh. As I made my way down the mile, I was already being weighed down by my backpack, and my sorely lacking levels of personal fitness were somewhat mocking. What was really draining me though was the seemingly non-moving line of excited tourists who were busy blocking my path to the bus stop. To a man, they each appeared to consider other folks' time is absolutely no concern of their own. And they were also evidently yet to learn that Edinburgh natives such as myself cannae fucking stand them. I soon though make them face up with this little known reality by barging through them like a fleeing shoplifter who's just set off the alarms at Primark. And then, a few moments later, I was there. I had reached the promised land, for I had somehow made it to Northbridge. As I'm standing there waiting on the 31 turning the corner for Princess Street, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I felt a forceful tap on my shoulder, followed quickly by a voice. "Here hen," it says, "I've just been made homeless. You haven't got a lend of a tenner, have you?" I try not to laugh, estimating that it must have been the backpack. Poor boy obviously thinks I'm from somewhere far more exotic, and so I played dumb, looking falsely perplexed and in desperate need of subtitles. Yet he continued on, slowly and in patronising terms. "Do you have a spare £10 note on you? Boris Johnson, the cunt, has went and stole my house." Telling you man, you can't beat a capital chancer. They're a funny mob. They'll try anything on you if they think, well, there's a chance. "I'm really sorry," I tell him. "I didn't mean to burst your bubble or anything, but I'm actually for the tune myself. There's loads of tourist folk floating about the mile though." He smiled at me, warmly, in conceded acknowledgement of his mistake. "Cheers, doll," he says. "I'll nip down there the now." As I finally took my seat on the bus after a 10-minute wait, any sense of potential relaxation soon disappeared. "Molly, is that you hen?" asked a quiet, delicate-sounding voice. Promptly, I turned to face her. "Oh, hiya, Davinia," I says, with just about as much of an apologetic tone as I can fake. "Sorry, I didn't quite see you there." I did see her likes. That was a lie. But upon cloaking her wrinkly old puss, I had considerately decided to blank. You see, I'd never yints conversed with her before moving to London, at least no voluntarily, and although she used to be a pal of my mum's, that friendship had long since ended. They fell out when I was a wee bairn. Something to do with bingo. "Oh, that's nae bother hen," she says. "I mean, we did make eye contact and I was waving at you, but I ken you've been living down south the past few year. It's nae surprising you didn't recognise me. I hear you're writing stage plays for the stage. Is it gone well?" She smiled at me when she asked that. No warmth there, though. No doubt she was anticipating the truth. But, as it happened, she was shit out of luck, because without hesitating, and indeed with a considerable amount of relish, I tell her, Aye, it's gone great." I tried to say the words with such a degree of confidence and certainty that if she'd actually kent who they were, she'd have been forgiven for thinking that sat there in front of her was a female equivalent of a young David Mamet or Gregory Burke. After all, she didn't deserve to ken the truth. That since living down there, the plays I've been submitting to the theatres have all been met with the same negative response. And they've all included that yin word that every writer dreads. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's a no. Unfortunately, we received your script. Unfortunately, in a few lines from now, you are going to be faced with the word unfortunately. Nor does she need to ken that for the past 4 years I've been slaving away doing soul-destroying bar work for little more than minimum wage. And she also doesn't need to ken about my last show to hit the stage. The stage I saved up for a hire. 6 long weeks of starving myself. To say this yin man play didn't go as planned is, well, an understatement. You see, My director was a fanny who insisted I spend more money I couldn't afford so that he could hold a week's worth of auditions, only for him to then turn round to me later saying that actually he didn't rate any of the trained actors and instead he decided to cast himself. He was posh likes, from a place called Hoppenden. I mean, he wasn't just middle class, you understand, but he was the upper level. In fact, when he was growing up, Mummy and Daddy were mansion to mansion with no other than Stanley Kubrick. The fact of his life, there was only interest in the ins. Not that prevented him from repeating it to anybody who had the misfortune to be within earshot, which I always seem to be, again and again. Anyway, it wasn't long before I found out that the Scottish dialect in the form of the written word wasn't to his liking, and he made me rewrite the entire play in a manner that would enable him to understand exactly what the character was saying. As a result, and as you might have already guessed, his performance as a head-cracking Hibs football casual for Leith Walk didn't go down too well. Neither for that matter did my failed act to saving face by attempting to initiate a standing ovation for the front row. But none of that did the win you need to ken, because telling a toon gossip like her meant that she could easily go rampant. And so, I managed to exit the bus when it got to Bonnyrigg, with my pride still sort of intact. All that was left for me to do now was to get to the house to see my mum. I strolled through the streets the same way I always did every time I come back, eyes fixated at the concrete at my feet. They never wander. Why would they? Didn't need to see anything else. Toon's still a shithole. Bonnyrigg's claim to fame, by the way, in case you never heard of her before, is that Sean Connery used to play for our football team. Or rather, he tried to play for them. You see, back when he was a milkman up Gorgie Way, in between macking his rounds, he used to travel 8 mile to come here for training. Up and down for the city centre he'd arrive, all in the hope that come a Saturday he'd be out there on some mud bath wearing the no so famous red and white hoops. But alas, unfortunately for Sir Sean, he never did. It just wasn't meant to be. Because for an entire season he was an unused sub. And I'm not even exaggerating, they didn't let him on the field. Not even for a minute. It shows you how desperate he was to play for them though, eh? Hame and away he travelled, just to find himself sitting on some splintery wooden bench, clueless as to what the rest of his life had in store. Some say the manager was jealous of his good looks. Others say the club itself kept him on because they were getting fresh milk for him at a discount. Bottom line is though, try as he might, the poor bastard never got a game. James Bond was too shite for us. That's the song the fans have sung with love and pride for the past 30 odd year. As far as I ken, they still sing it to this day. It's funny, you ken, but I used to imagine they'd hear a song about me. Although, where a local and world-renowned writer slash part-time supermodel would fit into one of their songs, well, I'm not quite sure. But that didn't stop me from believing when I was younger that one day I'd be worth singing about. I mean, I used to love living here. Honestly, I did. But maybe I was just content. Fuck knows. But what I do ken for sure is that as far as any aspirations to graduate into the middle classes goes, to be honest with you, I can't mind a hating any when I was younger. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, my mum and dad were always getting on at me. Get an education, do your homework, pick up a book or two as often as you can. A grafter with brains is who we want you to be. And like any good working class parents, they never shut up about stuff like that. But when I was younger, when I was a bairn, these attempts at guidance didn't really mean much to me. Because all I wanted was to be just like her. I wanted to be a dinner lady at my primary school. I wanted to live in Bonnyrigg forever. But by the time high school came about, all that changed. Because suddenly I wanted more. And I decided that in the future, if I was going to be skint, then I'd rather be skint anywhere but here. No somewhere, but anywhere. And the obvious and indeed easiest choice was London. Still, much as I moan about the place, it is good to come back sometimes. And even though I might not feel it the now, it is my home. And it's good to see my mum, it's good to see her smile, just like she did the very second she opened the door. An agent's been in touch, Mum, I tell her. Says she wants to sign me next year. A genius, she called me. And my mum just laughed. Beaming, so she was. Fancy that, eh? My daughter the genius. And, well, it's during moments like these when I reckon my mum's probably the greatest actress I've ever seen. Because I ken she's not an idiot. Ken she's fully aware of the score. That her wee lassie's inevitable success, well, it hardly constitutes 4 years of me phoning her up every other fortnight asking her for a bank transfer of 50 quid, which she kens I can't afford to pay back. Still, together we managed to keep up the pretence. And the only interruption to our world-class performance is when she throws in the old line that doesn't belong in the script. Now you do ken that your room's still there for you, if you want a couple months break away for the writing. But I knocked her back. A rejection she accepted without resistance. And to tell you the truth, I can't help but find myself loving her ever more because of that. I love her so much it hurts. And right now, in this moment, it's good to be home.